Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Sir Gandalf and welcome to Command and Conquer. For a quick summary, in the 1990s a small meteorite crash landed in Europe, which over time green crystals started to grow. These crystals would become known as Tiberium, and like a plague it spread through the entire planet, destroying ecosystems, turning it into a desolate landscape. Though the Tiberium is poisonous, it has certain characteristics and properties of which many factions wanted to exploit. A UN-backed Global Defence Initiative, or GDI, is an international peacekeeping division which grew out of the Allied forces from the Second World War. Another group, the Brotherhood of Nod, is a terrorist organisation seeking to bring down the world order, and with the arrival of Tiberium, seeks to control it. Though through many fights, the Brotherhood of Nod HQ is orbital bombarded by the ion cannon, a superweapon designed by the GDI. The preceding fallout and energy bursts created by the explosion attracts the attention of nearby visitors. And that's just a little backstory of pretty much what's been going on in Command & Conquer. So why don't we jump into a game?
They have abandoned us, my child. Brotherhood of Nod has been broken. You are the only one who has not forsaken me. At this very moment, McNeil and his GDI lackeys celebrate their victory in what they are calling the Second Tiberium War. They have the Tacitus, but no understanding of its true purpose. Our technology has failed us. Cabal is no more.
Listen to the sounds of your own extinction.
Though his memory lives on. Our enemies believe we have been defeated, and that I am no longer among the living. They are gravely mistaken. You and I are all that remain, but all that is necessary. For together we will raise a great army. Together we will show the world downtrodden who the real enemy is. GDI promises them prosperity. But in the slums of Rio, the homeless and hungry know the truth. They have been forgotten. They have nothing but their anger. We will take that spark and start a fire which will become a great conflagration. Peace through power.
Alright, so here we are, we're at the GDI training grounds, and we're gonna pretty much go over the basics of this game. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to build a refinery, so we can collect up all this Tiberium sitting here, and once that's built, sending out its harvester to collect the resources. The second step is to build a crane. Now a crane allows you to build 2 buildings at once. Now we're low on power, but in order to sort that out, we just need to build ourselves 2 power plants to catch up. To unlock certain buildings there are requirements. So now that we've placed a refinery and a power plant, we can now build a watchtower to help defend our base. We can also build ourselves a barracks so we can start training troops. And just now, we'll go rocket squads. Alright, so now that we've got a couple of dudes, we can have them positioned in certain stances. So we can have them line up. Oh, if they're not facing the wrong way, that is. Pretty much from this point, once you've got your basic buildings and defences in place, your next step is just to keep expanding and improve your Tiberium income. The more Tiberium you have, the more you can spend and build on units and defences, or focusing on upgrading your units to make them better in combat or defence. But whilst doing that, you also want to try and unlock all buildings available to you, as these will unlock special units or upgrades that you can utilise within the battlefield, but also provide access to powers. Once you've built and unlocked every single building and unit you can, next step is just to build yourself a big army and go to war. Now, as this was just training, our enemy combatants aren't exactly the toughest, so during any normal fight against an enemy, it probably wouldn't be as easier to build up a base as we have. So enough of our base building, let's get some action. So we'll use the power to scan over this area here, and we've uncovered an enemy base. They don't have much as we do, but it looks like they're actually under attack just now from another AI. Let's see if we can intervene. So we just sent in our Mars, which is pretty much the most powerful unit that GDI can build. It's going to make very short work of this base and the enemy forces. So in order to defeat an enemy, you have to destroy every single building that person has. Any unit still standing will die immediately, so it's important to keep building buildings when you can. But now that AI is defeated, it's time to move on to our next target. Now we are just kind of steamrolling over these AIs, mostly because they're on an easier difficulty, but it's just to kind of give you the basics on how to play the game. It also just allows me to show off a few little toys. Total devastation. And then we can just send in all our units and mop up what's left. We can win the game. And with that, training is done. Let's see if we can find ourselves a proper fight. Alright, so here we are in a proper game now. We're playing as Nod. And much like in training, what we do is we build ourselves a refinery first. To ensure a continuous tiberium income, it's always good to build 2 refineries at the beginning. And after building up the base a bit, as well as placing down high-tech buildings, we can now build ourselves some avatars. Now an avatar is a big large mech which shoots a laser. However, with Nod, you get the special ability to sacrifice units to add those components to your avatar, essentially making it 5 vehicles into one. After we built some of those units as well as developed up our base, it's time to build Nod's unique unit, the Redeemer. With that being manufactured, we've also managed to build ourselves a Temple of Nod, which is basically Nod's version of the ion cannon, Nod's super weapon. Things are a little bit quiet, so let's go and scout out with our 2 decked out avatars, see if we can find anyone. Aha, so we find ourselves the Marked K, which is a division of Nod. We've got a lot of infantry, which our avatar should be able to deal with after equipping a flamethrower. But it looks like we're about to lose one of our avatars. No matter, we still got one more. After taking those units out now, all that's left is the base. So what we can do is we can set our unit to aggressive stance, which pretty much targets everything and everyone. Oh, and like that, our unit is now fully promoted. After experiencing so much combat, it levels up 3 times and becomes fully maxed that symbol. Basically increases damage and the attack speed, and also gives them regenerative health over time. So we didn't actually defeat the enemy, so we're going to send brand new avatars over to what looks like the remains of our base. Oh, so it looks like meanwhile we were dealing with 3. AI number 4 taking out 2. So this could either be really bad because we're potentially next. And this whole game we've not actually made any contact or seen their base. So they can come at us with anything. Uh-oh, so here we go. Here's first contact with the alien AI. Oh no, this looks really bad. They're sending our whole army towards us. Now luckily, we've had it for a while, but we have our super weapon, which has been saved. So I'm probably going to use it. Get rid of their army, that way their base is less defended. It's not as destructive, but at least it gives us a chance to send our troops back home. Oh no, another issue is air. We don't have any anti-air, and our avatars aren't equipped to deal with it either. Only our Redeemer has rocket troopers inside it to shoot the air, and our turrets at base can shoot them down as well. Now the game's a little bit more intense, because now you have an AI who's actually doing damage to our base. The game more focuses on a little bit more defensive air. We get ourselves some bombers, as well as build more anti-air turrets. Now that we've taken out what looked like the bulk of their air force, we're sending in our ground team, as well as a few bombers to try and take out the airport and at least try and eliminate this last foe. There's something the aliens didn't predict is a ground force invasion of mechs. So all these turrets are anti-infantry, which our avatars are just waltzing over. Straight into their base. So again, in order to defeat this enemy, we destroy every single building. It doesn't include turrets or units, so we'll just try and focus our attention on them before any of the air forces or any units that they produce try and attack us. Now as you can see, we still managed to build a lot of air units, which my ground units cannot attack. So let's try and race to the end, try and destroy every single last one of their buildings. Now we're down to the last building, although we're about to lose our Redeemer, which is sad, but no matter. This time a little bit more challenging because the actually enemy was on a harder difficulty. Let's see what happens if we turn up the difficulty a little bit more. Alright, so after turning up the difficulty, we're playing as Scrin now. We're just going to see how we do. After developing up my base, as well as 2 AIs being knocked out, little did I know what I was getting myself into. With less than 30 seconds left on the clock for a bomb being dropped on me as being the only other target, there was a little bit of panic and miscalculation, which once it was launched, there was no coming back, depending where it landed and if I could rebuild, but the enemy was too strong, which resulted in my demise. It's a sad day. Nonetheless, try again. So back into it, built up a base, got some units defending, and we're gonna go full air to take out everyone on the map. The main unit I'm focusing on is planetary assault carriers. These things carry 8 individual ships that pretty much just, well, they say for themselves. So whilst we sit for units to build up, we get attacked by occasional troops here and there. Like a fool, I forgot the fact that one of the AIs had actually 30 seconds on the clock for an ion cannon, which there were 2 other AIs on the map, but didn't fancy my chances. But I was too late, so I just had to brace for impact and hope that I had something left to salvage. With some of my base still intact, I just focused my attention on getting some revenge and taking out the AI. And ended up using a rift generator, which is the equivalent of an ion cannon. After that attack, as well as building up all our forces, I decided to go just an all-out assault on the last 2 remaining AIs. Now that we've finished GDI, but one more person on the board, Nod. We've not seen much of them in this game. It's safe to say that we weren't the only ones being attacked by GDI. There isn't much left of Nod's base. So like that, it's another victory. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Command & Conquer. I do highly recommend you play the other games in this series. This is Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath, which is the second version of Command & Conquer 3, the first one being Tiberian Wars, where the campaign you play is through the GDI. It's a fun RTS where you can build bases, troops, and just attack each other. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. If you want to see me play more of this game, put it down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.